Hi there, this blog that I'm going to review in this vlog is specifically for parents, and so I suggest to, well, not only parents, but the blog is written by Bella Bargili and discusses how patterns have been passed on to children by parents without parents even ever being aware of it, as the reason why our world is a mess and the origin of basically our entire creation, which is parents. So I would suggest for everyone to go and read this blog to have a better understanding of how we actually are only living out the past as the parents, as the patterns of the parents that have been simply passed on to us and all of humanity through parents, and to have an understanding of how it is that parents are in fact the ones responsible for this entire world, and the parents, that is us. The parents is always us as the adults of this world, and obviously especially those that have children. So I would suggest to go to the blog that I will post under the video in the description box, and to read the text, the self-forgiveness statements that Bella has written out loud, to be able to actually for yourself to be able to basically integrate the words while you're speaking them, to make sure that you actually do understand what is being written, because this is an extremely important blog that everybody should read, and which you will actually start to see and realize while you're reading the blog. Really give it your utmost attention, and you will see that what is written is in fact the truth of our existence that we have always failed to see. So I will read a part of the blog here in this vlog. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed a world where we recycle the patterns of our existence through how we parent the next generation, patenting a human nature that is simply accepted and allowed to continue in spite of the evidence that human nature as we know it exists at the cost of life. I forgive myself that I haven't allowed myself to see, realize, and understand that what we call human nature is something pre-programmed through generations and has, through acceptance and allowance, become what it is today, and that thus we are able to change the program of human nature through understanding how it works and why we have been allowing ourselves to exist as we do for so long. I forgive myself that I have accepted and allowed a world where each new generation takes oaths and makes promises to do it differently and do it better, yet looking at the world today we can see that everyone ends up repeating the patterns of the past and becoming just like the parents. I forgive myself that I haven't accepted and allowed an existence where we made it our nature to take the easy way, or at least to try and find easy ways to do things, which shows that we have no understanding of how this reality works, and explains why every chance for change is in the end undermined through our falling back to our good old ways because it feels safer and we know our ways around, which goes to show that the human being is a creature of habit. Yet our habits in the end inhabit us and possess us to such an extent that we will even justify abuse, inequality, deception, just to not have to face ourselves and just to not have to change. I forgive myself that I haven't allowed myself to consider that a child is not born with patterns and habits, but is formed in its formative years through the influence of the parents. And because the parents have no insight and no understanding of their own patterns and habits, let alone the consequences thereof, they simply pass on their legacy onto the children and allow the children to consequently form their own patterns, habits, and characters and personalities. And the parents claim this is who the child is, when clearly it is not. It is who the child is becoming through the influence of the world consciousness as the accepted human nature and the power games that entails. I commit myself to showing that human nature can change, and the only thing required is the willingness to see, get to know, and understand ourselves, how we function, what we exist as, and the consequences thereof. because when we do, we will see that it is the only actual choice we have, to take self-responsibility and face ourselves and transform ourselves into self-willed individuals that stand accountable for who we are and how we exist. There is no other way to dignify life and continue our existence as humanity. I commit myself to show that parenting is the key to changing society, as parents have the responsibility to educate and prepare their children for the world, and within that to share and establish principles that will no longer accept the world as we know it, but principles that will strengthen the child in its self-responsibility, self-honesty and self-will, so as to enable a directive participation in the world with an impact that will make a difference. I commit myself to showing that we cannot expect from the children to be or become anything else than what we are and have become, unless we as the parents change and set a new starting point for our existence, to make sure that we value life as the only real value, and that we base our words, thoughts and deeds on the value of life as oneness and equality. I commit myself to changing myself in a way that will support me as life and thus all life equally, so that I may be a living example, as many of us have already proven to ourselves that change is possible and that the only thing required is self-honesty, self-commitment and self-determination. I commit myself to supporting and establishing a new system for our world that will allow us to question and re-evaluate everything we have accepted and allowed to be our nature and our world and the system that manages. So, like I said, I do suggest for everyone to go to the blog and actually read what Bella has written out loud and slowly, so that you can give yourself the opportunity to consider things about life and about what we are living in this world as human beings, as humanity, that you haven't actually ever considered to look at before or realized before. Because I mean, it should be obvious that we really don't know what is going on in this world. We don't know why we are doing what we are doing. We don't know why our world is in essence so fucked up. We don't know why any of it is actually happening in this world, or who we are within it. So this blog really supports in actually seeing that and understanding and grasping how it is possible for us to in fact change and stop the patterns that we have been living out, and as what we have copied from our parents as the past, through applying self-forgiveness and self-honesty and self-correction, which will become evident and clear once you actually start walking your journey to life through reading the blogs that many people are writing, by having a look at the Facebook page, the Facebook group 7-Year Journey to Life, where you will see the multiple blogs that people post there every day. Just every day pick out one that speaks to you and read it slowly and out loud for yourself in the evening, and for 21 days, and you will actually start to see and realize how points are opening up within yourself, where you start to see things and realize things for yourself that you have never considered. It's because you are giving yourself this opportunity to actually change. Because realize that the only reason why we have never changed as humanity is because we never gave ourselves that opportunity, is because we have been living within this idea that it's impossible to change, which is also simply a belief system that we have copied from previous generations, where we are basically taught that, you know, things are just the way it is, we are just the way we are, you know, it's just how it is, you should just accept it, just kind of roll over and go with it. And And through that, we've never actually given ourselves the chance or the opportunity to, in fact, just simply change. And you will actually start noticing that change is possible to happen, and we are able to change simply by giving ourselves the opportunity, simply by, in a way, opening a window. That's what we're doing. We're opening a window for ourselves to step through and change simply by allowing ourselves to do something that we've never considered doing, or that we thought was impossible, or that we thought wasn't for us, or that we thought we would never do, or that we would judge, or whatever it is that is stopping us from, in fact, doing something new and giving ourselves the opportunity to expand our realization and understanding about who we are and about the world. Through, for instance, really paying attention to and noticing other people, and noticing what other people are saying and doing, and actually placing ourselves in their shoes and really reading their words, and in that way allowing ourselves to step out of our self-limitations and the box that we have placed ourselves in as our own thoughts and our own mind and our own inner experiences and beliefs and ideas and opinions that really keep us from seeing or realizing or understanding how reality actually really functions. So yeah, so have fun with it, and yeah, read the blogs, go to the Facebook group, give yourself the chance, open the window, just give yourself the opportunity to change for once in your existence, for once in your life, for once in, forever, because humanity, it's clearly that humanity has never ever really changed. So here is that opportunity to actually truly change for real. And many people that have been walking their journey to life as the writing of daily self-forgiveness, self-honesty, and self-correction will be able to testify that, in fact, change, true change, as within and as who we are as a living being, is in fact possible. All that it requires is self-commitment and dedication. Okay, so thanks.